Solutions. Bill Mollison correctly stated, though the problems of our world are increasingly complex, the solutions remain embarrassingly simple. The solution to the problems that plague our world, including mass extinction and deforestation, the drug problems with kids, the problems in our prisons, can all be solved when we use the permaculture principles. Permaculture is an agricultural design science.
You gotta give me a second.
That's okay. And permaculture lays out how to grow food the easy way. Everything that we've been taught about growing food in the last several generations is a lie, my friends. Back 70 years ago, lays out how to grow food. 70 years ago, Puerto Rico created all. It's okay, Daryl. Stay there, please. Let me just flow. Back 70 years ago, Puerto Rico created all of its own food. Now, according to the wonderful Dr. Benny, 10% of the food needs are produced here. In this incredible climate, this whole island could be and will be the Garden of Eden, a place with epic abundance. My friends, this is demonstrable. This is not just a utopic fantasy. It's something that we are proving all over the world. The idea whose time has come, stronger than all of the armies of the world, is when we go back to nature, go back to God's design, and we design our landscapes to be fruitful and productive. When we take out the poisons and grow food instead of lawns. And I'm going to say that again because it's joyfully simple. When we take the poisons out of our systems and grow food instead of ornamental landscapes. When we take our lawns and we create perennial edible landscapes. A perennial is a crop that you plant once and it continues to provide food for generations to come. Just like this tamarindo tree in the park, which was planted in 1932. That tree has been producing nourishment for this community for 91 or 2 years. Imagine if every tree along the park and every ornamental plant was now a food-producing plant. That one change would revolutionize this place. Imagine going into prisons and the inmates start growing their own food. This has been done, my friends. It was done in California. And here's the results of this. The recidivism rate, the reincarceration rate went from over 60% to under 10%. That one statistic is a world-changing statistic. Now imagine that we think about our world as far as energy transfer. Right? Imagine the systems of our schools, the energy that goes into creating and maintaining our schools. Imagine that the kids now learn how to work with nature, how to work with indigenous medicines, like Douglas talked about, how to work with the landscape to provide food instead of poisoning the land and growing lawns. In the United States, there are over 40 million acres of lawn. Right? The lawn is the foundation of our enslavement for humanity. When we take out the poisons and transform half that lawn around the schools, in the city parks, in the prisons, on church grounds, to edible landscapes, we change the world. This is so logical and so simple. So why isn't it done? Because we've been lied to. 50 years ago, Henry Kissinger said, if you want to control people, control food. This man has met with every U.S. president. What gives him the right to meet with every U.S. president and speak his wicked narrative? Because that's the system we're living. Freedom comes when we earn it by taking the poisons out of our lives. The number one poison is fear, and faith and courage is the armor of God. So we need to, it's our time, it's our duty to our posterity to step into this moment as leaders and demonstrate health and wellness and abundance and freedom to the max. Now, is a food forest, and that's what we call it, a food forest. You could call it the Garden of Eden, or you could simply call it a logical way to use our land. Is this a good business model? What's happening to the price of food? I was eating here in Puerto Rico. The people I love. The climate I love. The food is growing with poisons. The diabetes, the cancer, the heart disease, all of the trends that we're seeing, the drug abuse, when we nourish ourselves again in our hearts and minds and stomachs, then everything changes. The vibration, the frequency, the energy, the life goes exponential. So is this a good investment? It is the investment that will make the difference in our world. Investing in food-producing land takes our land from a liability. Currently in our communities, our HOAs, our land is written off as a liability. And yet all that same land can be the biggest asset that we have. We can create the foundation of freedom. And let's boil it down to one fruit tree guild, right? You take one fruit tree. How much maintenance does it take to maintain that tamarindo tree or that tamarind tree out there? Who maintains that tree? God. There you go. Right? Now scale it. Now you create communities of plants, which are called guilds. And in one little area, in the size of this theater here, or this stage here, we could have 100 different plants with 40 or 50 different species of food growing right here. In the sun, of course, right? And that one thing would not only be a good business investment, would not only make a yield that has multiple functions, it would be a home for bees and butterflies and birds and diversity. Our life, this is like a symphony that God has put together. And every time we put a poison in, we destroy one of the instruments of the symphony. Take the poisons out. And here's the beauty of this. There's poison-producing companies that are here in Puerto Rico and where I live in Florida and all over the world. Guess who manages and invests in those poison-producing companies? BlackRock, right? Think of this. By their deeds you shall know them. We are at war, my friends. This is a global war that is, in my opinion, a battle between good and evil. When we take the poisons out and turn away from the evil, turn away from the poisons, the toxins. We don't want to fight against this evil. The best way, the best revolution that we could ever have is to simply turn ourselves inward, to trust again in the natural system, in God's system, and love each other and serve each other. The system that I am advocating is pure abundance. You can count the seeds in a single apple, but you cannot count the apples in a single seed. It's infinite. When we go back to this infinite system of abundance, we take the power back and we win. And what do we win? Health, freedom, abundance. The Garden of Eden is our prize. It's not a utopic fantasy. It's the next logical step for humanity to use our resources in this way, right? Imagine when the churches take their land and demonstrate this as a community. When they get together and they create a design for their property using these principles, which are very well proven all around the world. Imagine when the community comes together and grows their own food forest nursery. The nursery will not only produce food, but it will produce seeds where the people of that community can take those seeds into their own lives and start growing food. It's time to start planting seeds, my friends. The seeds of life. Are there any questions? I will share one more strategy that is going viral right now. We launched 2 years ago. In 2 years, we are now in 53 countries and 50 U.S. states. because people recognize the truth of this. This is the ultimate truth. It's the ultimate logic. It's the ultimate wisdom. It's the creation of the Creator, and we're just taking that knowledge. We're not trying to create something new. We're simply taking the design that is, and we're adapting that incredible design to serve our communities. So imagine this strategy. I am not for governmente. I am not a fan of government or politicians, but I am a fan of good policy. When we take the policy and advocate for the policy of using our resources wisely, imagine this political campaign, which can be had in a household, in an HOA, or in a presidential election. Imagine the optics and the function of when a politician is standing in a prison with shovels and seeds, with inmates all around, and they're planting food, and they're learning the principles. Not only will that save every community millions and billions of dollars and stop the recidivism for the most part, but now when the inmates get out of jail, they've got a business to run. The business of helping their communities be abundant and grow food. It's the most important business. This is the biggest opportunity in the history of humanity right now, is to start stepping back into the path of nature, of God. So imagine when that same politician then, I mean, first of all, the optics of that are phenomenal because they're talking about real statistics that have been demonstrated. Now the politician is going into a school with all the kids around the school, and they're planting seeds and fruit trees and berry bushes and yucca and sweet potatoes and all of it around the school grounds. Then the kids help their communities grow food, right? What are the optics going to be like when a politician does that and demonstrates a solution? Then the same politician goes into a church community, and maybe there are many different religions represented around them because we have a common goal. We love our families, right? That's our common goal. It's the thread that binds all of us. We love our families, and we can bring them this peace. Imagine the optics and the function of this campaign where they're turning all of their lands into this type of landscape. We solve all of it, my friends. It's time for each of us to step up and lead and invest your resources and your resourcefulness in this solution, and we solve all of it, and we bring about peace on earth. It's happening, my friends. Thank you.
Para resumir de lo que nos estaba hablando Jim, él plantea que uno de los problemas grandes que hay es en la alimentación, que está dominada por élite, representada en BlackRock. Y precisamente nosotros vivimos aquí en Puerto Rico ese mismo problema. Nosotros dependemos de comida del exterior en un 85%. Una cosa sumamente exagerada porque durante la Segunda Guerra Mundial Puerto Rico estaba bloqueado por los alemanes y aquí no se pasó hambre porque se producía lo que se comía. Y en estos momentos, cuando tuvimos el huracán María, la gente pasó hambre porque aun cuando tenían dinero no había comida. Así que lo que está planteando allí es la necesidad de hacer un cambio revolucionario que debe comenzar en cada uno de nosotros para poder retomar nuestra vida, retomando nuestra alimentación y haciendo de los lugares, en vez de usarlo para tener grano, que lo que tengamos sea comida para nosotros poder sustentar a nuestra familia, enseñarle a nuestros niños, a las nuevas generaciones, la necesidad que hay de nosotros crecer nuestra propia comida y de alimentarlos de forma sana.
I want to take the opportunity to mention something. I'm not sure where Jim is really. Well, it's not very happy for me to mention this, but definitely I am. We're coming into an election, not only in Puerto Rico, but in the United States in about a year and a half. A lot of people are concentrating on which candidate should I vote for. Well, we are for no candidate at all. We only are for policies. Who can establish that policy that will definitely help us? You just heard Jim talk about policies for us to have food. So I would like to know, or tell you, so you know, that under that same ideas, those same policies, Jim is a candidate, independent candidate, for governor of Florida, which will be great because we will have a governor which definitely will back us up in what we want to do regarding food. Let's give a hand to Jim.
Before we continue, before it was, I believe it was Jim who asked me, or was Douglas, what's the Douglas? It was Douglas. What's the meaning of Lares, the name of our town? And there was a Puerto Rican patriot, Pedro Albizu Campos, who said that to come to Lares, you have to kneel, because this is sacred land. And how he made that statement, because the meaning of Lares means, or instead of meaning, Lares are the gods of the house, or the gods of the family. And they were the sons of Lara and the god Mercury. So when Pedro Albizu Campos was saying that this is sacred land, it's because this is the land of the gods of the house or the family. Now we're going to continue with the investiture. This is a very serious Christian and sacred ritual. And we expect the people that are going to be invested to take this with the seriousness that it is. This is not a club. This is not the Lions Club or Rotary Club. Becoming a member of the order means that you voluntarily accept to help the needy, to help the community without receiving any compensation for that. The only compensation that we get is the blessing of God for fulfilling what He asks us to do. So, Ben is going to come here, and we're going to call each one of the persons that are going to be invested.
Well, today we have 3 ladies that will become part of the Order of Santiago. And definitely we will welcome them into our order. We have Sarah, Cheryl, and Serena. So I'd like you 3 of you to come here. Okay, let's go here.
por el poder que me ha dado como soberano y gran maestro de la orden, Tiago, dama de la orden de Santiago, apóstolo, hoy y siempre. Amén.
Therefore, he says, the sovereign power that I have as the leader of the order of Santiago, I make you a dame of the order.
Por el poder que me ha dado como soberano y gran maestro, Tiago, ahora, dama de la orden de Santiago, apóstolo, hoy y siempre. Amén. Por el poder que me ha dado como soberano y gran maestro, Tiago, dama de la orden de Santiago, apóstolo, hoy y siempre. Amén.
As governor of the order, I want to welcome these three nice-looking dames into our order. I'd like all of you to give them a good hand.
You can take your seat. Our order, Santiago Apostol Order, was created in the 16th century in Spain, and the purpose at that time of the order was to protect all the pilgrims that were going in the Compostela road. After the First Republic of Spain, it was banned. When the crown took over again, was reestablished, and then under Franco, the order had to leave Spain and establish the main offices in Cuba. And from Cuba, it was moved to Brazil. And our Monsignor Pereira became the master, the great master of the order. Just to have a little information about what we are and where we come from. We are a 500 years old order. And now, last but not the least, we are going to invite Dr. Wolf, that he's going to talk about imagination.
Bear with me.
They don't want to take away because they care about you when they.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'd like to talk about imagination, and imagination is our greatest gift. It was the gift that we were given when we came to this planet. Without imagination, there's no creation. And understand something. You'll always know when your imagination is gone, because you're uncomfortable with your belief systems. Okay, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm never going to remain the same. If you know me 6 months from now, I won't be the same person. There's no way. You know, the thing that we really forget about is this, and I get it, because everything is physical, right? Everything is material, and we become materialistic beings. Every one of us. The reality is this, you know, one of the greatest lessons I've ever had was when I was worth about 3.8 million, and then I found myself only worth $2,200. I was worth $2,200 11 years ago, and that would set me free. I was free. When I had all that money, and I was making tons of money, okay, just know this. Every day I'd pretend I made none, because I had poverty consciousness, and it wasn't for money, it was for love. It was self-love. I had no love for myself. Okay, I'm going to tell you something right now. You are a danger to this planet if you do not love yourself. You are a danger. You will never, ever, ever live your dreams, have your passion, find your purpose if you don't unconditionally, totally love yourself. It's one love, one law. You know, I really love this part. You know, I was raised a born-again Christian, right? And I got to tell you something. You know, I learned a lot from that, but I will tell you something. The thing that gets driven down my throat all the time is this, is, you know, does anybody know that, you know, Jesus came here to teach one love, one law, unconditional love. That was it, okay? We don't need to make it into anything else, because that's all it was, all right? And imagination, think about this. Remember when you were young, you could get on a broomstick and fly around the world. Okay, that was your portal. Okay, remember when your parents were fighting and things weren't going well? You could go into that imagination of yours, okay, and you could escape. And understand something. That's where I am, okay? The world is my sandbox. It's not a kitty litter anymore, okay? And the reality is I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. You don't have to care what anybody thinks when you are based on unconditional love for yourself. If you were to practice unconditional love for yourself, what do you have for everyone else? I'm going to tell you something. People that hurt people, okay, they need our compassion, because they're hurting inside. And that's what happens. Not our pity, our compassion. And understand something, and you better get this. There's not one of you that isn't a slave. You're a slave until you can unconditionally love yourself and never have to forgive yourself again. Now, most of you are going, oh my God, I need to be able to have to forgive myself. But guess what? I'm not going down guilt alley with you. You can forget it. You know what? Everybody that I've ever seen that could not heal, and they carried the suffering, and all I could do was just buffer it, was somebody that had a belief system that they had to remain guilty for something that they did. And understand something. Every belief system out there has different labels on it. You think I'm kidding? You could be in one family and do something, and they would send you to your room. The other one, they would slap you in the face. The other one, they would say, oh, don't do it again. Or they might even sit down and talk to you. Every one of your belief systems that you hurt someone, that you judge someone, that you create guilt, you are the poison on this planet. You're the poison. I will never judge anyone, okay? But I will stay away from low vibrational beings. I will go near a vibrational being when we are going to train, when we're going to retrain the brain. Let me tell you something. You're all brainwashed. I'm brainwashed, but I wash my own brain. I'm going to tell you something right now. Do you know what? I come up against stuff all the time. So you know that we've created our own university. We've created our own university, and it's a school of higher learning. So people will call me up. They will send me emails. They will threaten my life. They will tell me that, who do you think you are? You're not a real doctor. Oh, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. To actually side with the majority means that you have to be totally asleep. Now, am I against the majority? No, I'm not against the majority. But understand something. If you want to speak your truth, then you know what? You're going to have the majority telling you that you're crazy. You're going to always, look, you have a choice in your life. You can struggle, okay, and struggle with somebody else's belief system, or you can struggle with your own belief system and enjoy it. And enjoy it. Changing the world is not what you want to do. Changing yourself is what you want to do. Loving yourself, caring for yourself. There would be no sickness if everybody in this room loved themselves and cared for themselves. You would not have eczema, psoriasis, arthritis, cancer, diabetes, a headache. You wouldn't be low in energy. Whenever I'm doing what I love, I have energy. Doesn't matter if I slept 2 hours or 20 hours or whether I ate or I didn't eat or I drank or I didn't drink, because we are electrical, energetic, light energy beings created by God Almighty. Our spirit comes into the womb, and then it leaves. And understand, if you're not feeding your spirit, then you're not enjoying anything. And that's it. You're bullshitting yourself and everybody else. The reality is people go, oh my gosh, Daryl, you're always working. No, I'm not. I am not working. I am not working. I am playing the game. What is that? I'm feeding my spirit. Because guess what? You get to evolve or repeat. Evolve or repeat. And understand something. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. Because you are just repeating it. Okay, you are not evolving because you are disrespecting yourself, dishonoring yourself, and you're doing it because you've been disrespected and dishonored by your parents, by every system out there. Every system out there wants to control. Nobody will ever control me again. Ever, 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 ever again. I will humble down in front of no man ever again. I will humble down in front of God all the time in my heart. And understand something. I don't care about the medical system attacking me, because that's what they do on a continual basis. I don't care about anybody out there attacking me. You're not a real doctor. No, but I'm a real boy. Listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. What is a doctor? A doctor is a teacher. And understand something. Everyone out there that is sick is a victim. Everyone that's out there that has a sickness is a victim. Everyone that's out there that is sick is a victim. And they are a victim of someone else's toxic beliefs. And that's the truth. You take that person that is sick, okay, and you change their mind. You change the belief in themselves and allow them to love and care for themselves. Allow them. But we don't allow, do we? We don't even allow our own families to care for them. Go ahead. Try to go in your family and start eating right when nobody else is doing it. They will attack you like the herd. Okay? Understand this. I can remember when you were talking, Jim, about gardening. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, my grandmother, we had 1.5 acres. And you know what? I'd go and help her in the garden, and I couldn't wait to go to the corner store. I was already a drug addict. Okay? And I can remember when I was young and she wouldn't give me money, I would steal from the corner store. Okay? Snickers chocolate bar, I think it was, or Mars chocolate bar to get that corn syrup, right? Because I was already addicted. And I came from a feeling that, guess what? There wasn't enough in the world. When there's not enough, you're going to steal. When there's not enough, you're going to lie. But when you become enough for yourself, you will not lie, you will not steal, and there will be enough. If I lost everything today, and this is why I do my videos, if I lost everything today, it wouldn't matter to me because I am everything. You know, they think they can take things away from me. You know what? There was a show done about me 6 months ago. They spent $250,000 of taxpayers' money to come after me, to say that I murdered 3 people that I didn't even work on. The reality is that guess what? I got their attention. what are they going to do to me? Okay? All right? I was created by God Almighty, and I'm going to act like it. And understand something. Okay? We're going to have to stand up for what we believe in. I am not against government. Okay? Because you cannot, I am not against the medical system. Because they're not broken. They are toxic programs. But there are beautiful people within those programs. And we need to talk to those people. And we need to reach those people. And we can do it. Because understand something. Everybody is a spirit being. But let me tell you something. It doesn't take a lot of this. And you have them poisoning your brothers and sisters. I'm just doing my job. Did everybody get sick of hearing that during COVID? I'm just doing my job. Let me tell you something. You go ahead and say I'm just doing my job to me. You try to make me wear a mask. You try to make me do anything. It is never going to happen. And I'm letting the world know that. And I'm not doing this because I want to go to war. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you something. I was raised by God Almighty. And I was created by God Almighty. And I'm going to act like it. And you know what? We've got a university, and we are going to be pumping out doctors, not like a paper mill, but we are going to be telling everyone that you can go from what? You can go from a patient to a healer. Because guess what? There's only self-healing. There's no healing from me. You're either going to heal yourself and stay there. You want to come to me? I'll take your money. I'll take your money because I'm giving you a service. But if you're coming to get treated, you're going to be mistreated eventually. If you're coming to be treated and then trained, then you can go from patient to practitioner. And then from practitioner, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to go to healer. And then from healer, you're going to go to what? Practitioner. Then you're going to go to what? A doctor. You know, we should all get our doctorate in natural medicine. And we should just all do it. Because what are they going to do to us now? Okay, they're going to tell me, oh my God, you can't give out doctorates, Daryl. I'll give out what I want to give out. And I'll understand something. The doctors you're talking about, when you compare me and you say you're not a doctor, Daryl, they only sell petroleum products. They sell chemo that has a rate of 2.3%. Okay, after 5 years, only 2.3% of the people are alive after chemo. But guess what? Every one of you, if your family got cancer, I guarantee you that 4 out of 5 in your family are going to go get chemo, which is mustard gas from the Second World War. Or you're going to get them and radiate them. Why don't you just stick their head in the microwave, for God's sakes? The reality is you cannot poison yourself well. Always ask yourself one question. Is it lack of this that I got sick? No, it's lack of self-love and self-care. Because self-care is the only health care. And self-love is the only love that lasts. You can tell me that you love me. That's great. I love you. But if I count on your love to give me the power to heal and to stay healed and the power to stand in my strength, okay, and come up against things, it's not going to happen. Don't talk to me about love. Love is just an ingredient. And guess what? You'll give it when you need it. People that give love, give it when they need it. I don't give love to anybody. I just shine my frequency in my light. If you could become unconditional love and you could hold that, let me tell you something, and then I'll end this. The human brain is the most dumbest organ in the human body, and that's science. That's real science. The human brain is the dumbest organ in the human body. Or it's the smartest one. Why? Well, it depends on your belief systems. If your belief systems are based on genius, if they're based on self-love and self-care and do no harm, then guess what? That's called a genius. And if you have an imagination, okay, where the universe is your playground, then you are not ever going to hurt anyone. But understand something. I hurt everyone. Not everyone, but I hurt everyone that's part of the majority. Why do I hurt them? Because it hurts their head. I give them a headache. Okay? And that's it. I give them a headache. Because you know what? You can only give a person 1% a day. But in 100 days, you could have a new change, a new belief. But the reality is, if you try to give somebody, if they're vibrating at this level and you want to bring them up to this level, it's going to blow their brain. Whether you want to believe this or not, your whole life is run by prominent, dominant beliefs, and they're not even yours. And you'd know if they were yours because it could be raining, somebody just smashed your car, and guess what? The government just stole all the money out of your bank, okay? And now they've got a new bird flu, okay? And you just right there in the moment, and you love the day. That's it. You remember something. This is planet Earth, a life-challenging, fun adventure where people are always trying to kill you, even your family. Tell me they're not. Okay? And the reality is this. If you could totally love yourself, you can totally be here. But if you can't totally love yourself, you're going to judge people. You know how many people you judge every day? You're going to have a very bad life, because whenever you judge someone, you go to jail. Every time you judge someone. Okay? The person with the purple hair and the 20 rings and now they've got a new gender. I don't judge them. I know there's a spirit trapped in there, and they got trapped into all of this dysfunction. And if we would have shown love to ourselves and care for ourselves, and we didn't make these new, these younger generation feel like we lost them. You know what? In the last 3 years, where were they? Mom and dad and all the adults were freaking out, okay, about something that doesn't exist. Okay, did you ever look up the word virus? It says, what is it? It's toxin for Greek. When's the last time a toxin can jump, 6 feet? Can't even jump 1 inch. And the reality is that we're morons. We are morons. Human beings can be so ruled, schooled, and fooled. You are sick if you have sick beliefs. You're healthy if you have healthy beliefs. You're rich if you have rich beliefs. You're poor if you have poor beliefs. That's it. And the reality is guess what? Everybody thinks money's evil. Well, no, it's not. It's energy. Okay? It's what you do with money. It's energy. And if I didn't make money, I wouldn't be able to build this app. We wouldn't be able to build this online university. Okay? And the reality is we're never looking back, and we're never turning back. Okay? We're creating a university that gives doctorate in Indigenous medicine and in natural medicine. And then somebody has the nerve to say to me that you're not a doctor? No, you're going to tell me that a medical doctor's a doctor? No, they're physicians, they're surgeons, and they dispense petroleum products. So listen, I got to look at where the word's coming from, who's talking to me, and then love them anyway. Love them anyway. You will never have the majority of the population on your side if you are looking for your authentic self and if you're looking for growth. Remember that. If you change 1% every day, every 100 days, you've got a new personality. So if you think that your personality is your reality, just remember, your personality has created your healing or it's caused your sickness. Okay? And the reality is this. We have been taught that, Jim walked in, and somebody here walked in and said, oh, you're the farmer. And guess what? Nobody wants to farm. He's not a farmer. What he is guess what? He's a thriver. He can teach people how to actually grow food that doesn't take hardly any care. No, but guess what? The majority of the population, and I'm going to say this, Jim is going to make a evolution, because he only needs 2% of the population to believe his BS, his belief system. Okay? All right? 2%, and he can change the world. The majority will never believe him because they're all drug addicts. Okay? If you eat, so just know this, that 99 out of 100 people eat a very highly toxic diet. I'll make you a bet, and it's a friendly bet, and it's friendly, but you're not going to take it as friendly. And I want to be wrong, so I can't wait until you tell me. 30% of the population will be gone by 2030. 30% of the population. Does anybody know why? Do you not take a look around? Okay, well, how many people know that 42% of the population in the United States is obese? Okay, that 87% of the population in the United States is overweight. And how many people know that if you're overweight, that you're inflamed and infected? How many people know that you're rotting out? How many people know that when your tummy is starting to bulge out, you're rotting out? You've got a manure pile in there and you're creating bad bacteria. How many people know that the medical system's only after one organ? Which one is it? They're after the destruction of the large intestine, because the large intestine is the garden of the human body, and what you put in your mouth becomes the compost to that garden. So what does your compost look like? What does your compost? Alcohol, sugar, flour, okay? All of these things, drugs. So let me tell you something. I want you all, who's got a garden here? I want you to go home, and I want you to put every processed food in your compost. And then I want you to put all that processed food and all those drugs, and I want you to put that into your garden. And that's what you're doing to your body every day. And guess what? We are rotting out. And we're rotting out first on an emotional level, because guess what? I already told you, the brain is only got two programs. What's that? It's a chemist and it's a computer. And depending on what emotion you have will depend on what chemicals it dumps. So you're either going to be on fire or you're going to go higher. One or the other. Okay? And then, what did I say? I said it's a computer. So depending on what program you put in will depend what program you run. But how many people here know that 70 to 90% of the programs you run are only being run because of mommy and daddy and the 5 peers that raised you from 0 to 7. So I have gone in and I cracked my coconut open and I got rid of everything that didn't vibrate high. And now I teach a course called Whole Life Coach, and I can tell you this right now. I've been teaching this course since I was 28 years old. There is no emotional course like mine in the world. By the 3rd day, this is not a sales pitch. I'm just really good at what I do, like Jim is, like Dr. Ben is. You all have a purpose, you all have a passion, and you all have a gift to gift the world. But are you going and getting it? No, because they put a chokehold on you, and you don't believe in yourself. And guess what? The world's waiting for you to show up. Because everybody in this room has a gift. And understand, I will be a drama trauma king, and I will do whatever I need to get your attention. And that's what we need to do. When we all leave here, we are all going to the same place, wherever that is. I don't care what color you are, what religion you are, okay? Where you come from, okay? Understand, you are my brother, you are my sister, okay? And guess what? I will observe and never judge you no matter what you do. And if I can do that, then I've already done what I need to do for this planet. Not judge it, not put it in jail, and not tell somebody that they're going to go to hell because they don't fit my beliefs. Thank you.